Hello everyone. This is Class 12 Computer Science Chapter 5 File Handling Lecture number 1. In this class we will learn that how to store our files and whenever we want the file then how we will access it. So before going to start the file handling topic, let us learn some important terms. So the first one is data. The raw facts and the figures which we store, that is known as data. Now next is information. Information is any meaningful statement that enhance our knowledge. It is known as information. Next is file. A file in which we are storing our data in the form of bytes. This is known as file. This file is stored on our system. So now next is data file handling. That is a fundamental concept of any programming language because we are storing the file in the sequence of bytes. Whatever we are storing in file, it will store the data in form of bytes. So we can store different kinds of data in it, like audio file, video file, any text, anything. So the definition of file is a file is a collection of characters in which we can perform read and write functions, and also we can save it in secondary storage. The meaning of secondary storage, like hard disk or pen drives. So Python also performs some operations on file handling, that is to create the file, update, read or delete the files that is stored on the file system by Python. Now the question comes, why the files are used? So the data that we store in file, that is known as the persistent data because this data is permanently stored in the system. Python provides the reading and the writing capability of the data files. We can save the data in the files for further use also. So as you save your data in files using Word, Excel, etc., same thing we can do with the Python. That's why we are using the files. So there are two types of file. One is text file, second is binary file. So what are text file? Text file are the sequence of line and the sequence of character that is saved in our system, or we can store the files in a permanent storage device in our hard disk. Although in Python default character coding is ASCII, but we can also convert it in Unicode by specify the capital U. Next is a text file. Each line terminates with a special character, that is end of line. Okay, in text file, the line terminate means we are terminating our line by full stop or by slash n. Okay, any special character. So the text file are in the human readable form and it can be created by using the any text editor. For example, your Notepad, WordPad. Okay. Now the next term is binary file. Binary file that is not readable because your system understands the binary language that is in the form of 0 and 1. So a human can't read it. So the binary files are used to store the binary data such as images, videos, audios, etc. So generally the numbers are also stored in the binary files. In binary files, there is no delimiter to and a line since they are directly in the form of binary, hence there is no need to translate them. That's why these files are easy and fast in working. So the next term is data file operations. We can perform many operations on data files, but we will discuss those later. Here, the main operations are, first is opening a file. What is the method of opening a file? How will you open a file? Next is performing operation. So the other operation are also there, but the main are the read and the write operation. Next one is the closing the file. How will you close the file? So here you have to learn that how to open and close the file. So here we need a file variable or the file handle to work with files in Python. Even you can say the object. So this file object can be created by using the open function or the file function. This open function creates a file object which is used later to access the file using the functions related to file manipulation. So it is the syntax of opening a file. This is the file object equal to open file name comma access mode. So the file object that you know where you want to open your file, you have to define the object. Now file name is user defined. It depends on you that what is the name of the file. Now the next is the access mode. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that what is access mode. So these are the file handling access modes. Okay, so whenever you are opening your file, you have to define that this file belongs to which mode. If you forgot to write, then by default, it will open it in read mode. So here, the text file mode and binary file mode. The file can be opened in both file mode with differently. Okay, so the first one is the R. It is a read only mode. In text file, we will write R, and in binary file, we will write RB. Okay, and you will write it within single quote. Do not forget that. Otherwise, it will give you error. So, this open the file in the read mode, but the condition is that file must exist in your system. Otherwise, it will give you the input output error. Next is the write mode. In text file, you will write the W. In binary file, you will write WB. So, if the file does not exist, then it will create. And if the file already exists and you are opening your file in write mode, then it will truncate all the existing data and overwrite the file. So, next is a A. A is append. In binary file, you will write AB. So, this file is in write mode only, and if the file exists, then the existing data, it should be in the file and the new data add at the end. The third point is if the file does not exist, then the Python will create a new file. Next mode is R plus. This is read and write. In binary file, you will write R plus B or RB plus. You can write any one. So if the file should be exist in your system because you are opening the file in read mode also. And read mode says that the file should be exist in your system. Otherwise, it will give error. So both the reading and the writing operation can take place at one time. Next is a W plus. This is a write and read. First you need to write and then you have to read it. So here this file is created if the file does not exist, and if the file exists, then file is truncated. Means the past data is lost. So reading and writing can perform at one time. Next is A plus. This is append mode and meaning is write and read. Okay, here if the file does not exist, then it will be created by the Python, and the existing data, it should be remain on the file and new data is appended. And this is also both the reading and the writing operation can also take place. So these are the file modes which you can use while writing the programs. Next is how will you close the file? Okay, the closing of the file, it is not mandatory to close the file, but you have to use the close method for closing the file. Okay, Python will not give you any error if you forget to close the file. Okay, so the open file is closed by calling the close function. Okay, with the file object. So the syntax is you have to write the file object dot close. Okay, now that's it for this class, because here I have just explained the meaning of the file, the modes of the file, what are text file and the binary file. So now your homework is you have to write the difference between the text file and the binary file. This question is important from the exam point of view. Okay, so just write it neatly. In the next class I will tell you the answer and some Python programs. Okay, so thank you.